Let's start though with the fast developing story of football's growing COVID crisis. Manchester United against Brighton this weekend has been called off. It's the second Premier League match to be called off today after Leicester against Tottenham went as well. Well, let's go live to Ben Ransom then at Manchester United's training ground. Ben, good to see you again. So the game is off. Just give us the background to what's happened.
Yeah, this has been an ongoing issue and story all week as United have tried to get a grip on this COVID outbreak, and I suppose we had the first signs the day after that win last weekend against Norwich on Sunday. Some players returning positive lateral flow tests. Now, the players then came in on Monday to have PCR tests which confirmed those positive cases, and the club took the decision, if you remember, on Monday to close the training ground here at Carrington for 24 hours. Well, since then, they've had increased COVID positive cases. The Premier League confirming they've had more since the game against Brentford was postponed on Tuesday. Now I'm told that for the Brentford game, United had 9 available first-team players. That's a mixture of COVID confirmed cases, self-isolation, as well as injury. Well, ahead of the Brighton game this weekend, just 7 players, I'm told, were available for potential selection. That's not enough to field a team. That's why, in their ongoing dialogue with the Premier League, they've allowed this game to be postponed and it won't go ahead. And they've made the call a little bit earlier, I think, to try and give everyone a bit of clarity so that plans can be put in place. Because you remember, it was late on Monday night, wasn't it? Nearly midnight when we got news that the game against Brentford on Tuesday was going to be postponed. Well, there's a little bit more notice for this one. You can understand why, because Brighton were obviously going to be having to travel up from the south coast tomorrow. And as far as they're concerned, it may well come as some welcome news as well, because Graham Potter himself was speaking ahead of the Wolves game they played last night, saying that they requested the Premier League postpone that one as well. So clearly it's a big issue for both clubs, but certainly the reason for this game being postponed is because Manchester United didn't have enough players to field the team.
Ben Ransom, live from United's training ground for the moment. Thanks, Ben. Kaveh Solhekol has joined me in the studio. Kaveh, for those who weren't with us in the last hour, just reiterate the Premier League stance on all of this.
Well, the Premier League have made it very clear. They're not thinking about suspending the league. They're looking at every case on its individual merits, and they've released a statement this afternoon and it makes it clear. They say, while recognising a number of clubs are experiencing COVID outbreaks, it is the league's intention to continue its current fixture schedule where safely possible. So where it's safe for games to go ahead, games will go ahead as far as the Premier League are concerned. Obviously, they've decided it's not safe for one game to go ahead this evening, but the information we have is that the other 2 games, Chelsea versus Everton and also Liverpool versus Newcastle, are going ahead.
Well, that's not going to please the Brentford manager Thomas Frank, because he became the first Premier League boss to call for a COVID-enforced shutdown. He wants all of this weekend's Premier League games postponed, as well as the EFL Cup quarter-finals next week.
We think that we should postpone the full round of Premier League games this weekend coming up. The COVID cases are going through the roof in all the Premier League clubs. Everyone are dealing with it. Everyone have a problem this moment in time. To postpone this round and also the Carabao Cup round will give everyone a week at least or these, I don't know exact the number, 4 or 5 days to clean and do everything in the training ground. So everything is fine. So you break the chain in every club. We respect fully that we want to play. We want to play, want to carry on. I think it's important that the football is keep going. But this way we can have the Boxing Day going, no problems, 100% sure of that. So in that aspect, we think that would be very sensible to do that.